Maruti Suzuki's People Technology presents Suzuki Connect with Navigate to Car and many other features.
Watch more, feel more. Dell.
Afghanistan versus Pakistan, and these two teams often throw up some very interesting contests, and this one is no exception. At least the first half of whatever we've seen so far. Afghanistan notching up 147 for 6 on the back of 35 not out from two of their senior pros in Mohammad Nabi and Gulbadin Naib. As far as the Pakistani bowlers are concerned, Imad Wasim, the pick of the bowlers, picking 2 wickets there. You're watching ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout, presented by Maruti Suzuki and powered by Dell. I'm joined by Tom Moody and Shan Masood. Tom, I'll start with you. How would you describe this total? 76 for 6, now getting 247. Competitive, at par?
Yeah, three off what I suggested they might try to target. I said around 150, I think, is going to be a competitive total. Particularly given Afghanistan's attack. I think, to be honest with you, I think Pakistan, when they have a chance to sort of calm down and reflect, I think they'll look at that bowling performance as not their best. It was nearly like they were overheated. They were trying too hard. They were trying to intimidate the Afghan batting lineup and lost their control, lost their composure, which what we've seen in the first couple of games. And I'm not saying it was a terrible bowling performance, but I think it's a bowling performance they probably feel that at best is a 7 out of 10, and they've been delivering up around 9 out of 10 up to this point.
I'm going to take that point forward of what Tom says there, Shan. You can understand they were all fired up to begin with, and it paid dividends too. I'm talking about it's the latter half of the innings where you're trying to bowl extra quick. That's the time where most of the time you see fast bowlers bringing in the slower deliveries. That wasn't to be seen.
I think I 100% agree with Tom, and it's just not the finish. It happened from the first over till the 20th over. What helped Pakistan was Afghanistan was equally rash in their decision making. Afghanistan did not realize that Pakistan were bowling more bad balls today than they had in the previous 2 matches. So it was more about a threat perception rather than a threat itself. Pakistan gave away quite a few last ball boundaries. If you look at the power play, Afghanistan even after losing 4 wickets, they still managed to score 50 runs. So if Afghanistan had been a bit clever and made sure that their batsmen like Gurbaz or Asghar Afghan or Najibullah had batted from the 7th over till the 15th over, it probably would have made sure that Afghanistan had scored 20 more runs, knowing that they had the finishers in Gulbadin, in Nabi, and Rashid as well, who's no mug with the bat. So I think what saved Pakistan was that Afghanistan was equally rash with their batting.
Tom, that's interesting because, this is the same Pakistan. We saw a very level-headed Pakistan when they played 2 of the bigger teams, if I could call them that, India and New Zealand. And this is an encounter where you expected them to win. Or is it sometimes the case that you really want to dominate a lower-ranked team, and that's where things went awry?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of a few things. I think they're full of confidence, this side. And yes, they probably wanted to play the big brother role and try to bully Afghanistan, and just lost their focus. Sometimes, when you try too hard, you lose sight of what's important. That is the very basics around what you're trying to do. And to me, it appeared that was the case with Pakistan. They felt that they, had the mindset, well, we're going to bowl them out for under 100 here, and we're going to do that through sheer aggression without really the same subtleties and control. The one thing that did work well for Pakistan was their 2 spinners, Shadab and Imad, both bowled exceptionally well. Both only went for 22 and 25 respectively and picked up wickets. Now, if anything, that's a potential warning sign for the Pakistan batsmen, because they're going to be facing probably 80% of their overs will be against spin. And if there is something in that surface that both the Pakistan spinners drew out of it, well, you can guarantee that the Afghan spinners will do just as much, if not more.
Two things, Shan, you can draw out of that. The fact that Pakistani spinners did well. One, as Tom points out, that you'll have Afghanistan spinners also, anticipating sort of an assistant from the pitch, something that they can do here. The other thing, could that have also given a cue to Babar, probably to have bowled an over or two Hafiz?
Yeah, I was surprised when Najib came in and they bowled they brought Shadab in and Najibullah was batting as a left-hander. Why did not Hafiz come in and bowl an over or two? And it just saves you from making sure that if a certain bowler is having a bad day, you sort of take him out of the equation. But to be fair to Babar, Hassan was 17 runs after 3 overs. Haris Rauf was a bit on the expensive side, but the tournament he's had, you're going to make sure that he's going to bowl 4 overs. Shadab and Imad as a pair, they've been more economical. They've taken the crucial wickets. So Afghanistan spinners have a different role. They're more threatening, they're more attacking, they want to take wickets. So let's see, does that sort of change in game plan where the spinners will look to take wickets, does that affect the way that the pitch plays? Because Imad and Shadab, their predominant role today as well was just to sort of hold down that end, not give many runs away. We didn't see Shadab bowling any sort of extra attacking deliveries. He just wanted to get out of the over with as less runs as possible, and Imad's always doing that. So let's see, does attacking more make the pitch behave differently? That'll be an interesting point to see in the second innings.
Okay, we'll have to wait for that. Just one word on the Pakistani bowler. Tom, I'm going to come to you. Hassan Ali, sometimes, when you're really winning, a few cracks can really be papered over. And one of those has been Hassan Ali. It's been rather expensive in all the 3 games so far. Is this something that Pakistan is going to begin to worry at the moment?
Look, I don't think they're going to worry about it, but I think that he's a good example of certainly what I was expressing earlier on, and that is, he was nearly overheated. He was nearly trying too hard. He was nearly trying to bowl too fast. He was nearly trying to bowl too many different types of deliveries. I've seen Hassan Ali bowl on a regular basis over a long period of time, and he is someone, when he's got control, has got a very good slower ball and he's got a very good Yorker. And I just felt that he lost sight of just trying to stick to those very basics that he does well. I asked the question, how many Yorkers were absolutely nailed today towards the back end of that innings? Not many at all. There was a lot of length balls, and there's a lot of balls that went to leg side, which enabled the Afghan batters to swing around, pivot around, and work it to the leg side for boundaries. So look, he is a wicket taker. There's no question. Yes, he's been expensive, but I think that there's a lot of up scope for him to continue to improve because he's done it in the past.
Okay, let's talk about Afghanistan's batsmen and the recovery that they made from 76 for 6, notching up 147 for 6. Shan, I'm going to come to you, and we spoke about this at the start, that what sort of an approach Afghanistan will have, and we saw that they went with their, tried and tested approach of going all out. But clearly there is a method to the madness, and we keep saying that, what's going to happen, because they realize that they've got someone like, their captain coming down the order. They've got these experienced hands like Gulbadin Naib coming down the order. So if you've got that sort of a cushion, you can afford to play in the manner that they did.
Look, firstly, I think if you just look at ability itself cannot get you to places. This Afghanistan, if you look at the ability from 1 till number 9 in terms of batting, they had the ability to score 170 today, but it requires a lot of mental skills. It requires a lot of thought processes to make sure that you get to that 170. I thought the way they took on their matchups was a bit reckless. Zazai taking Imad on the leg side when Imad, we know he gets the ball to go away from that batter, especially from that round the wicket angle. That was not a good matchup. Shahzad taking Shaheen on unnecessarily when he had already gotten a boundary. Gurbaz taking Hassan Ali on in his first ball of the over, not seeing what the track is playing like. A new bowler has come into the wicket. Kareem Jannat, who looked good, but again, he took Imad on. Probably for the shorter boundary, but there were a lot of those mistakes made by Afghanistan today, which if they hadn't made those mistakes, they probably would have been sitting pretty at about 167 for 6 in 20 overs, and they would have been delighted by that score. So I just thought that they were a bit reckless with their matchups, and Nabi and Gulbadin basically showed how to be a bit calm, take your time. In the 17th over, Gulbadin took his time. They only got 3 runs off the 17th over. That allowed them sort of to get the 43 runs that they got in the last 3 overs. So a bit reckless, but they finished off using those heads, using those clear minds, and they got a decent target, but still I feel 20 short.
Okay, 20 short is what Shan is saying. Final comments from you, Tom. You said 150 is what you were looking at, just 3 runs short. You reckon they've got enough?
Oh, look, I don't think we'll put it this way, they've got probably fractionally below par. I sort of set that 150 mark more around what I thought Afghanistan were capable of doing against Pakistan. I think this is a good surface, but I don't think it's going to be an easy run chase because I've got a lot of respect for what Afghanistan can do with the ball.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Tom Moody and Shan Masood, thanks so much for joining us. Here's a reminder that similar sort of target Pakistan were chasing versus India too. In fact, 3 or 4 more runs than this, and they reached there rather comfortably without losing a wicket. Whether that's going to happen right now or not, we'll find out. We'll see you again at the end of the match. You are watching ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout, presented by Maruti Suzuki and powered by Shan.
Maruti Suzuki's People Technology presents Suzuki Connect with Navigate to Car and many other features.
Watch more, feel more,